Hey there, everyone. Let's talk. This is a subscriber NFL algorithm, people. Thank you for supporting the NFL algorithm. You're getting access to this video before the games start on Sunday. And I might even release this later in the day on Sunday because I like to thank people that compensate me for this because sometimes some days I'm not available to do it and I still have to do it obviously when people pay, and you guys have paid a lot of you paid a very nice sum of money for this, and so I really want to put in the effort. And in this video, not only are we going to talk about all the games here, but we're also going to talk about betting strategy, and I'm going to explain what I do. I actually had a really good night tonight. I'm not going to show the wager. I'll show it later, but I have a wager, a $48 wager that's paying over $2,000 tonight, and I kind of want to talk about how I do my round robins because football is really set up for this on Sunday. So we'll get into that later in the video. But let's start with the Thursday night game. So this was a loss. Algorithm said the Steelers would beat the Browns and would put up more points. There was a really odd thing that happened on the last play of the game that pushed the Browns even further away from the Steelers and also hit the over, which was really helpful if you listen to the video and bet the over in this game. That was an enormous lucky over that happened there. But the Steelers quarterback situation is trouble. And, you know, the Browns defense is not great, but you can see that the Steelers offense has problems. A couple times they came down the field late and could not score, even though this was 14-13 at half. They don't put up. So Thursday nights are usually rough for the algorithm. I feel anecdotally, I mentioned that, and it proves again, although they did at least hit the points. Now let's talk about the rest of the games this weekend. Monday, let's glance over Monday because I don't want to get confused with Monday yet because I want to do kind of an all Sunday video. You got Cowboys and Giants. Giants are playing better. Cowboys won last week, so that's actually a really tough game. You can see there's only a 4-point margin of victory for Dallas, and they're away. It's a very tough game to pick, so I'm actually going to stay away from talking about that game at all. Let's talk about Sunday instead. So you got a full slate, and what I will do is I will set up a big round robin, a few of them at least. But let's talk about what the big 7 picks. I like to do 7 picks on my round robin wager. So let's go through what those 7 picks are going to be on my big Sunday round robin. I'm going to share it with everyone. I don't care if it doesn't win, it doesn't win, but it's fun. And let's talk about what we're going to do. So number one on the list, Eagles are in Washington. Eagles coming off a really strong win against Minnesota. Washington blows the game against Detroit or doesn't score enough. Eagles defense was looking better. This shows up here as a 13-point or 12-point, 13-point margin of victory. They are minus 250 though, and they've got to cover 6 points. Says they do it. Well, in a round robin, you can't mess with the minus 6 points because it's going to kill you if you lose the game. So you just take this on the round robin because we're trying to pick winners. That's what this is all about, is picking winners. Eagles are supposed to win. I don't like betting against my hometown team that I root for, but that's what the algorithm says to do. So we just listen. Next, Tampa Bay at home. Brady still married. Tampa Bay at home against Aaron Rodgers. Still Aaron Rodgers. It says 10 points in favor of Tampa Bay. Green Bay, walks over the Bears last week, but they do that at home. And this is in Tampa Bay's house. And Green Bay is a different team, I think, on the road. That's what the algorithm is saying. This line's only minus 116. It says 11-point victory. We put our faith in Brady here and the algorithm, and we try it. I mean, you don't win them all, but that's what it says to do. So you just take it. Next, Chargers in Jacksonville. I'm a little hesitant because I saw Jacksonville just punish Indianapolis last week. Algorithm is not worried. Algorithm thinks the Chargers at home and in their new home, not San Diego. They're in Los Angeles now, playing better. Maybe they have more of a hometown crew there, even though the Rams just won the Super Bowl last year. Point is, algorithm says they win by 10. This is only minus 167. We just listen. Even though I would be hesitant because I think Jacksonville apparently is a better team. They also fought the Commanders hard but lost. But anyway, says take the Chargers. Colts and Chiefs. Now here we're getting into some craziness. So here I talked about this game in the video, and it says Indianapolis is a better team at home. I can't, but I'm supposed to. Supposed to take a +5. And I can't do it though. I can't do it. I don't like Indianapolis. So I'm going to pass over this personally. I just don't want to take a team that lost 20. It's too new of a season, and maybe they're not as good at home this year, and I'm just not going to take it. So I'm not taking that. Patriots and Ravens. Patriots by 10. Wow. Well, all right. So here you can get 3 points. 3 points with the Patriots. On a round robin, you take that for the chance that if they lose by a field goal late, you still get a push, and that doesn't hurt you all that much. So the line is not going to be plus 135, but you could take the plus 135. And there's an argument to be made with Baltimore just blowing a game to Miami. Tough. So you could do this, or you could do the +3 at minus 110. Let's just call it the win for now. That's iffy though. Which way to go on that? Next, Buffalo, Miami. Buffalo looked incredible, right? Miami has shown that Baltimore can score on them. Buffalo's minus 215, but it's a 7.5 point. Well, oh man. This is a way for Buffalo in Miami. It says take them to win. Buffalo's a good team. Don't mess with minus 7 points or 5 points. You could. I'm not going to on a round robin. We'll do this. Buffalo to win. A lot of favorites on here. Denver at San Francisco. It says Denver wins this game. An underdog line. 5-point victory. Because they're at home. There's that. There's some value here. Let's throw it on there tentatively, but I'm not really sure. We're at 6 picks already. Let's see what else we got. Bears and Houston. This is a bad team versus bad team roll. Although Houston's been playing a little better this year. I'm going to stay away from that because bad team versus bad team, you never know what's going to happen. Seattle and Atlanta. Almost a similar problem, actually, here. High scoring game. Projected 49. The over-under is set at 42. That is sounding actually like a bet. Okay. Now here, notice that the highest projected scoring games here are this one and this one. That's the Indianapolis game, and it's saying enormous points in Seattle, Atlanta in Seattle. So if the weather's not rainy and bad, this over here is a fantastic bet, and I would consider putting that on the round robin. We might even have 8 picks. But let's just talk about winners for the sake of this round robin, even though when it comes to wagering, you have, limitless options, essentially. So there are better picks than this. I think you all probably know that. There are better picks, better lines, all kinds of things you can do. But we're just talking about the algorithm supposed to pick winners. So as you can see here, we are picking winners. And that's kind of what I'm doing this video for. Because it makes you feel better too. We're just rooting for a team to win, and they're supposed to win, right? So that means we don't take the over in this game. However, I think the over is a great bet in this game. I'm not taking anybody because I'm feeling bad team versus bad team rule. Although Seattle's only minus 110, so that's kind of bettable. It's against Atlanta. Why are they minus 110? That's because they look so bad against San Francisco. All right, whatever. Minnesota and Detroit. Says Minnesota wins this, but they're minus 250. They're way down here. That makes this very difficult to bet. Staying away from that. Saints, I have always said, are difficult to judge. However, Carolina is not playing well this year. And this is a good line for this. Saints are away, but is Winston hurt? We could look it up. They might be going with tough situation. I think that's why that line is so good, is we have injury situation on the Saints. Arizona and the Rams at plus 162. Arizona plus 3.5. I'm not all that impressed with what I saw out of the Rams defense. And that makes Arizona plus 3.5 worthy here. But let's keep going. Raiders and Titans, says the Raiders. It's a tie game here. And then Cincinnati at the Jets, also a tie game. And Cincinnati is minus 250. So it's almost saying take the Jets, but we never, ever bet on the Jets. So it's really Arizona plus 3.5. Even though they have no defense, this should be an amazing over in this game. Wow. Look at this. 43 points projected and the over-under set at 48. So it's not doing that crazy thing by saying there's a ton of points in this game. How about that? Wow. So given that it's saying it's a lower scoring game anyway, and it looked like it's divided by it's separated by a point or something, this plus 3.5 is excellent. And we're going to throw it on there. So this is Arizona plus 3.5. Okay. And that'll probably be at minus 110. So here you have 7 picks. Now watch what we're going to do. I always throw $1 on the end on the parlay just to see what it pays. That's a 56-1 parlay. But we're not going to bet, a parlay. Let's like distribute out. If it was $1 on every single parlay combination, then it ends up being a $120 bet that pays almost 10-1, pays $1,300. But you don't have to bet that much. You can lower, I don't know what's going on there. You can lower this a little bit on some of the higher ones because you're going to get punished if you lose a game, and bring this down to like, it's under $100 bet, pays 8.3-1, and almost $100 bet pays $900 if you can hit all these. And if you lose some of them, say you lose that Arizona game because they have no defense, it still pays $338 if you get the other 6. Let's say you lose the Denver game because that's an underdog. It's a close one. Now you're starting to just barely make a little money at 23%. And if you lose another one, you're going to start losing money. Okay. And that's the way this goes. You lose half your wager if you go 4-3 essentially in this scenario. Now you're not going to hit all 7 every week. Obviously, you could go months without actually hitting 7. But when you do, you can see it pays 8.5-1. So you could lose 7 weeks in a row, lose all these games. And if you win one of them and get all 7 one week, you actually up money for the season. So this is the way that I do my wagering. I have gone months and months and months without hitting 7. Sometimes it actually does happen, but you bet enough of them, you do hit. I also, when I do hit, I'm up all of a sudden for the year, right away. And it makes it enjoyable for me because if you lose, I'll even do less than this. I'll do something like this. All right. I like to do $1 on the 4s because that's a very optimal combination is the 4s. Let me show you that actually. So you can do things like just bet the 4s. All right. Your $100 here, or whatever equals 100 divided by 35, $2.86 on each one of the 4s. See how it pays 9.3-1? And you have a better distribution if you start losing some games. See here, you make $500. So betting on the 4s, I think the 4s is the optimal one when you're doing 7. But I like to spread it out because you can also have an amazing day by hitting all of them with different distributions and depending on how much you want to wager. All right. So that's the look at NFL. And if there's really, really premium stuff on here, it's clearly, the Eagles at the top. It really says Tampa Bay does this at home. And the Chargers, everything with a 10-point margin of victory up here, right here, all this stuff. I cannot believe what it is doing with the Colts. I still can't believe this. Maybe on a straight bet, if you want to dance with the Colts, that's what it says to do. But I can't do it. I just can't do it, guys. I can't do Indianapolis. I almost get rear-ended every time I drive through Indianapolis. It is not my favorite city. I just have to say that out loud. So they'll probably win because you hear me talking trash right now. That's what always happens. All right, guys. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy the video. May all your picks be winning and enjoy a Sunday of football.